everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Lots About Something podcast. This is the podcast where we, the Lots, always talk about something. It's never nothing. It's always going to be something that's going to be fun, entertaining. We hope to make you laugh and hope to maybe encourage you a little bit. That's kind of the goal. So we hope that that'll happen for you. My name is Chris. I am one half of your hosting dynamic duo, and I am joined by my wife, Christy. How are you doing today, Christy?
Doing good.
Doing good.
Doing good.
Doing good. Christy, have you had a good week today? Or, excuse me, let me rephrase that. Have you had a good week this week?
I have had a good week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Anything exciting happen for you?
Well, we had daylight saving time.
Well, that wasn't this week, though, right?
Well, it started Sunday.
Yeah,
so we've had a whole
Sunday.
week to do it.
So we've been a whole week into daylight savings time.
And I love it.
You're loving daylight savings
think
time?
people either love it or they hate it. I love it. I love getting that extra hour.
Okay.
I feel it the whole year long or until it goes back to spring forward. But do you like it or do you not like it?
I don't know that I care one way or the other. I think I am for, there's this bill that passed in Congress that they were going to do away with the daylight savings time. But they haven't done anything about it. It's supposed to be like 2023, I think. What do you think about that?
I don't think they'll ever do it.
So you don't think they're going to just cancel it and just leave it?
So that means it's going to stay daylight longer all the time?
It would be daylight savings time. So during the Great Depression.
So right now we're falling back.
We've fallen back.
So it gets darker earlier.
Yes.
So it wouldn't be that anymore?
It would not be that way anymore.
Okay.
It would be like it was before the time changed.
When it springs forward.
Yes. That they would keep that as a permanent.
So people can work longer in the
daylight.
daylight.
That would be the permanent.
I don't like that one.
And that's why they did daylight savings time to begin with, is during the Great Depression, they were looking for more hours to be able to get more things done.
Yeah.
And so that's where they created the daylight savings time from.
I get that.
Yeah.
But I prefer. Now, the only thing I don't prefer about it is when I don't like to drive. And I don't like to drive at night.
Yeah.
And you can walk in somewhere at 5 and then come out at 5:30 and it just like, the sun goes down. It's dark. We did that yesterday.
We did?
Well, we went inside the Japanese restaurant when it was daylight. Yeah. And when we walked back out, it was dark.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was early.
That's true. We did go on a little date night
We
last night.
hardly ever go on a date.
We hardly, all right.
Out. We hardly ever go on a date out.
Yeah. And
now
we
eat.
Some of that is because you prefer to not go anywhere.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, in general, you prefer to not go anywhere. But yesterday we didn't have to, but Emma got invited to a birthday party. It was close to our church, which is about 45 minutes away. And then this particular birthday party was about 10 minutes past that. So it's about a good hour from our church, from where we live. And so we couldn't just come back home. I guess we could have, but we decided to go get something to eat and hang out a little bit. So we did that. We went and ate Japanese at a little hole in the wall Japanese restaurant. I have eaten there before. You had not ever eaten there before. What did you think about it?
Well, I've always gone to Japanese restaurants where you sit down in front of them and then they make the fire really high and then cook your food,
Hibachi. They cook the food in front of you.
And then I had made the comment, there was an older couple in front of us. I was like, we're going to have to go sit by them because they're there the time we were.
Yeah.
And then you said no, that they're tables. So that lightened my whole mood. I didn't have to sit by people I didn't know.
No, we had our own table. They cook the food in the kitchen, bring it out to you.
It was good meat, too.
Yeah, it was good.
Filet mignon.
What was it?
Filet mignon.
You had filet mignon?
Mignon.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
It was good.
All right, I got you.
Yeah.
Well, good for you.
And then we didn't know what to do after that because it's a little town.
Yeah, we were in a little town.
I don't even know if we should name it.
We were in a little town, but we did experience their Walmart.
You know, Walmart has different kinds of folks anyway.
Well, all right. Number one, this particular Walmart is, I would say, probably about 15 years behind all of the other Walmarts.
I agree with that after walking around in there.
So, like, most Walmarts they have these new designs and they have expanded stores.
Now, I'd say they had some new designs. It's like they updated some stuff.
Did they?
The registers and all that.
Yeah. But like the layout of the building was
very
an
congested.
older style layout. Like I remember being in Walmart years ago and it being kind of that layout. It's an older town, or not an older town, but it's a smaller town. It's an older Walmart, but still Walmart. You know what I mean? So it's still Walmart.
It felt like Walmart when I walked in there.
You know what? One of the craziest things I ever remember you said, I don't know that I'll ever forget it. We had just moved to LaGrange. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we needed to get some stuff. I mean, we probably hadn't even spent the night there yet. We had to go to Walmart, and you had when we moved to LaGrange, you particularly had a really hard time moving away. Uh-huh. It was the first time that you had been away from your family, first time you'd been away from your sister. And so you particularly were having a really, emotional time with being away. We were about 4 hours from your family, about 3 hours from my family. Mm-hmm. And we went to a church. We were serving as the children's pastors there. Ended up being a great church. Ended up being a great experience, and absolutely loved it. But I'll never forget, we went to Walmart that night. Do you remember what you said?
I'll never forget it. I made it up.
What did you say? Because I won't forget it either. As a matter of fact, I want to sell it to Walmart.
I think it said, it doesn't matter where you go, Walmart always feels like home.
That's it. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what you said. Mm-hmm. And I have always thought about that. It doesn't matter where you go, Walmart feels like home. I would say that is 100% true, except for the Walmart that we went to last night.
I'll say it was very congested.
Had a lot of stuff in it.
A lot of stuff in a little space.
Yeah, it wasn't a big... I don't know that I would call this a super Walmart. Do they still have those, or are they just Walmart?
This is not a super. That was not super.
It was not super.
I'll just say you could get your dog food right by the laundry detergent, and then you could turn to the left,
well,
and
you could do that at our Walmart.
You can get your refrigerated items right there, the yogurt.
Yeah.
It was just...
Now, I will say this. Within the last, I can't remember if it's the last year or year and a half, Walmart is my arch nemesis. Mm-hmm. And so I, to the best of my ability, do not go to Walmart. I am against them. They are against me. The reason is because I went to go buy some gift cards one day for something that we had at church, mm-hmm. and they would not let me buy multiple gift cards. They told me I could only buy one. And so I said, so you mean to tell me I could go right down the road to Target and get as many gift cards as I want, and you won't let me get more than one or two? Mm-hmm. And they said, yes. I said, okay. So I said, I want the money back for the gift cards. I actually had bought some other stuff. I turned all of that stuff in. Emma was with me.
She was so embarrassed.
She was embarrassed. The stuff that I had bought, for me, had nothing to do with the gift cards, but I was so ticked off. I returned everything I had, mm-hmm. returned it back to Walmart, and we went to Target and bought everything we needed. And since that day, they've been my arch nemesis. I actually called you and said, we were buying groceries at Walmart then. I said, we can't buy groceries here anymore. And you said, I'm not going to do that. Mm-hmm. But then you had your own run-in with Walmart when they canceled your grocery order. So now they are also your arch nemesis.
Well, I'll go in there when I have to. They got good deals sometimes.
Yeah.
So they're not my arch nemesis.
They are my arch. I am at odds with Walmart. They are my arch nemesis.
But I mean, if you can't compare Target to Walmart, so I would definitely choose a walk around Target before with Walmart any day. But that's just me.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's. I'm against them.
So we went to that Walmart.
Yes. So we're at this Walmart.
So you walk out of that Walmart, and they had the loudest music I think I've heard in a while, just playing
the music
over
in the
speaker.
parking lot was so loud.
It's like they wanted you to get up and dance to the car.
It was so loud. And not only that, but there were multiple other cars in the parking lot
Trying to play louder
that had
music.
music that they were trying to play louder than the Walmart speakers.
Yeah.
So imagine the Walmart speaker like being super loud, and then these other cars. It was very chaotic walking inside.
Are we going to talk about our other experience we had at Walmart?
You know,
Can we talk about that, or are we not going to talk about that? Because I'm sure our listeners have had the same predicament that we had last night. So we might as well go ahead and talk about it.
Here's why I want to talk about it. Not because I'm proud of it. I'm not proud of this moment.
It
but
was funny.
I am.
It was funny.
I am proud of how in sync that you and I are. You and I were completely on the same page, and we didn't even have any idea about it. So, all right, here's the deal. Again, I'm not necessarily proud of this, but we entered this Walmart, and even though we were a long way away from home, we still ran into multiple people that we knew.
Right.
Right. So there were still people from our church that were there. We spoke to them. Mm-hmm. We were, matter of fact, we ended up going and meeting up with two couples after this, and they were eating dinner. We just kind of crashed their dinner. I had coffee and dessert. You had dessert and a Diet Coke. And so we joined them. So we got connected with other people, but there are just some people that you don't want to run into in a public setting. That's all I'm going to say. There's just some people, and you and I, when we realized that there were certain people that were there that we didn't didn't want to run into, we kind of made a pact together that let's avoid that area where they were. Right?
Right. We were like, no, let's don't go over there. And so
Again, I don't know that this is something we should be proud of.
I'm sure everybody that's listening has done this a time or two. You see someone there and you're like, oh, I don't want them to see me. I got to turn around and go the other way.
Yeah.
This totally happened to us last night.
So we're walking around, and we got very random items.
It was, what can we get at Walmart that we wouldn't normally buy on a regular trip?
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much, that's pretty much what it was.
And the more we walked around to avoid people, the more stuff we ended up,
the more it cost us. Exactly.
Yeah,
so essentially we walked back, we made this pact. And so we walk around, we're kind of taking our time. It was very leisurely. We're not in a rush. We don't have anywhere to go. At this point,
3 hours of nothing to do.
At this point, we had 2 hours to kill
until
we were supposed to pick up Emma from the birthday party.
Right.
So we're just we're nonchalantly hanging around. We walked around 3/4 of the store because there was that one section that we had agreed that we weren't going to.
Well, you could hear.
You could hear
who you were trying to avoid. So
Yes.
it's like, we can't go over there.
Yeah.
We got to turn back around. It's like, man, we just walked this way.
Yeah.
So I got preoccupied in the Christmas section.
Yeah.
And do you want to tell this story?
So we were just kind of walking through, and I'm walking down the aisle, kind of up back towards the front. We'd already walked to the back, down
the whole store.
the aisle. I mean, pretty much around 3/4 of the store. Mm-hmm. And I hear a voice.
Right.
And I look over, and the person that we were trying to avoid, it's no great way to say this, literally was on the other, like they were an aisle away from me. Not even a whole aisle. I'm just talking about on the walkway aisle on the other side.
Oh,
you weren't near me.
I never saw them.
Yeah, you weren't near me. So I immediately turned around and went down the first aisle opposite direction that I could find.
So that's your perspective. So I'm coming the other way, going to the front.
Yeah.
kind of, how when you're looking for someone through the aisles and you walk down each aisle and you're looking, nope, he's not there.
Yeah.
Nope, he's not there. Nope, he's not there. And then all of a sudden,
you're looking for me.
yes, I'm looking for you, but I didn't know where you were. So we finally went parallel to each other, and you walked past me, and all of a sudden, I heard the biggest snap up in the air, snap, and you pointed opposite way. So I immediately got my buggy, turned around, and we were bolting. I told you in the car, I was like, if you were about to rob the store, I was going with you. We were in this together. I didn't know why you were snapping your fingers at me, telling me to go. But I turned around as quickly as I could, and we headed to the corner back of the store.
You did not ask a question. You didn't think a second thought. You weren't like, what are you doing? Why are you snapping at me? You immediately turned around and just walked the other direction.
You didn't want to use your voice. You didn't want to be heard. You just snapped the finger like, come on, girl, let's go. We can't go that way. So it was a funny moment.
Oh, man. And then so we get back. We finally kind of get caught up with each other, and we just busted out laughing. We were cracking up.
Yeah, so that was fun times.
And then we had to do a little bit more covert maneuvering.
I was just ready to go.
Yeah.
And then you were like, I was like, what are you doing? We've got a self-checkout line right here. Let's just get in, get the self-checkout and go.
We actually walked all the way back around the whole store.
What would you have done if you'd ran face to face with them?
I'd have been lovely.
Because
I would have been lovely.
Because you and I are different. If I see someone that I don't necessarily want to talk to, I'm not one of those, hi, how you doing? Let me sit around and talk to you at Walmart for 20 minutes. I'm hi and bye. I don't have time to do this. I got things to do. So,
yeah. Well,
but it was funny, Anyway.
So I kind of saying it, I kind of feel bad about it, but I also don't feel bad. I'm glad that we successfully avoided the situation.
Sometimes you avoid people in Walmart because they're draining, and you don't want to be drained when you go to Walmart or Target or anywhere with draining people. That's what I mean? So
I don't disagree.
Why ruin your Target or Walmart experience from people that drain you physically with their energy? So we had other things to do on our date night besides having that particular person do whatever, So if you're out there and you've avoided people before, just let us know,
Yeah,
it's okay to be truthful. We are truthful, transparent, real people here on Lots
So
About
whether
Everything.
it's right or wrong, we definitely avoided somebody at Walmart.
Right. And we'd probably do it again. Fun. You have to admit, if we could have video cameraed our reactions to the avoidance of that person, it was funny.
Yeah, that was a funny moment. That was when you just turned around. I mean, you had no idea what was going on. Like you said, I could have been stealing something, and you was gone. You were gone either way.
Well, I seen you bolting. I was like, I better not go that way either. I am gone.
Oh man.
So, moving on.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. All right. So that basically was our What's New segment. We didn't really announce it.
No,
Do you have anything else that's new?
We had the Storm Nicole come through.
Yeah, so we did have the Storm Nicole.
School canceled when Ian come through.
Yes, we talked about that.
No rain.
Yeah.
Well, Nicole come by. She brought us in some good rain for the day. Aiken canceled again.
Yeah.
So we're starting to think Aiken County cancels anytime it rains. So we're not against that. We're pro a cancel school when you want to. So let's do it once a week, and it's okay with me. But that's about it.
Yeah, we're definitely not against things being canceled. I actually really like when things are canceled.
Same.
I'm for things being canceled, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, let's go into our second segment here, and this is just weird news. And so, weird news. What we do is I'm going to read you some weird news from headlines, and you're going to react to just the headline. So there's probably more information that explains why it's weird news. We don't get into that. We don't have time for those kind of details. So what we are going to do is we are just going to read the headlines. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So the first one is this. Former manager of DoD Aerospace Threat Program. Okay? It's the former manager of the Aerospace Threat Program confirms or states that UFOs are real. Are you familiar with the DoD Aerospace Threat Program?
No, it's hard to even remember what you're saying.
Okay.
I understood a space program, the DOT or the DOD.
All right, so I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with this program either, but evidently I'm sure it's someone that works in
Space.
I don't know that they work in space, but like in that field, like in the space management, or probably not a NASA, but
No.
something maybe similar. I don't. Maybe it's like an off-brand, like a Great Value NASA. I don't really know exactly, but evidently they are saying there's a high-ranking official, like a manager, that says that UFOs are real. What do you think about that? Are you a believer in UFOs?
Maybe.
You think so? Maybe.
I've watched a lot of sci-fi.
Yeah.
So they may gonna make you think there might be something out there.
Yeah.
You probably gonna say no.
I think I lean towards no. I think there's an explanation, but here's what I also believe, and this is a Christian response, probably way more spiritual than this topic requires. But I believe that God is big enough and vast enough to create anything. Mm-hmm. I don't have biblical proof of this, but I do have a theory or a belief that when God created man, Adam and Eve, they were the first man and woman that were created. But I don't know, and there's no proof for or against that he did not create other men and other women. Now, the story of Adam and Eve obviously leads to Jesus on the cross, and that's what the story of the Bible is. But who's to say that he didn't create more? I mean, they married. I mean, his Adam and Eve's sons married somebody. Where did those people come from? So, is it possible? 100%. But I think my cynicism leans towards there's an explanation for UFOs.
Okay.
So again, that's probably a way more spiritual response to what this story is.
Okay.
All right, here we go. This is kind of weird, okay? TSA, which is when you go, TSA is
DOD and TSA?
Yeah, it's a lot of letters today.
Okay.
TSA is essentially the security process for getting on airplanes.
Okay.
And since September 11th, that process is way harder than it's ever been before. It's probably harder now to sneak or smuggle, contraband or things that should not be on airplanes. So that's what TSA does. And there's a whole process of getting checked in security. There is a TSA that finds a handgun hidden inside of a raw chicken at luggage at an airport. So someone had stuffed a handgun into a raw chicken, put it in their luggage, and tried to smuggle it past the TSA security system. Do you think that's a good idea, a bad idea? I can see that you're thinking about how to respond to this.
Okay, so I don't like chicken.
Okay.
I like chicken that's cooked, but raw chicken, dangerous things can happen with raw chicken. So my first thought of that is this person who hid their gun in the chicken, they probably not going to die from the gun. But after they get the gun out of the chicken, if they don't wash their hands real good, they're going to get sick.
Hold on. So let me just hear this right.
They're going to get really sick and have to go to the bathroom. Because of salmonella.
Can you
poisoning.
die from salmonella?
I don't. If you throw up and go to the bathroom too much, bad things can happen.
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if I've always heard you talk about salmonella, but I don't know if I really know the consequences of it. Like, is it just like
salmonella can make you really sick?
Like, is it just like food poisoning, or
I mean, could be, yeah.
Can you die from that?
Salmonella can make you sick.
Okay, so essentially,
I'm just sitting here thinking,
all right,
who is going to take the time to put a gun in a chicken?
So let's just
raw
hear me
chicken.
out.
Okay,
just hear me out. Play this out with me. Someone hides a handgun in a chicken. Okay, a raw chicken. They probably don't have good intents with that handgun. Would you agree with that? Like, there's a reason they're trying to smuggle it. So then they take that, let's say they take that said handgun and they end up, Lord forbid, they shoot someone. What is the greater problem that the person that gets shot has? The fact that they get shot, or the fact that they're likely going to get salmonella poisoning from this handgun being inside of a raw chicken? What do you think is the greater threat here?
The person shooting the gun's gonna get sick.
So you don't care about the person that's got shot. It's the person that's carrying the gun.
I don't even know if the gun is shoot after being stuck in a chicken.
Well, we'll never find out.
And the chicken would smell. Is it in a cooler?
I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know the answer to that. I'm sure there are details in the article that we are not aware of because we don't read the articles.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm just like, when I cook chicken, I immediately wash my hands, clean the surface, spray the Clorox. I got to get rid of the chicken because I don't want to get the house sick.
Okay.
And I've heard of people spreading salmonella because of that, and then getting the whole house sick from throwing up, going to the bathroom, and if you get real sick, be hospitalized, and it could be really dangerous.
Yeah. So note to self, and note to all of our listeners out there, it's more dangerous to get salmonella poisoning than it is to get shot. So just keep that likelihood, whatever that scenario in your mind next time that you're out there handling raw chicken.
So that's what my first thought was.
Okay. All right.
I would not want to touch the gun after it's set in a raw chicken.
Yeah. Would you just throw it away?
The whole thing.
You don't think you could wash it? Or is it like Dunzo?
I throw away a lot of things that look gross. If I don't want to touch it, I just throw it away.
Okay. All right. Okay. You're going to like this next one.
Okay.
Especially because you have an affinity for frogs. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So there's a National Park Service that has issued a notice to its visitors to please stop licking the Sonoran desert toad that is in its park area. So they've issued a notice to people visiting their park to not lick this particular type of toad because it's evidently very, very poisonous. But the fact that it's poisonous doesn't keep people from licking it.
What kind of person goes to a park and sees a toad and thinks, I want to lick it?
I don't know. I've never, all right, Christy.
Who licks toads?
Evidently, there's enough people that are licking toads that the Park Service had to issue a public plea to the visitors coming to the park to not lick the Sonoran desert toad.
When I was growing up, if you held a toad and it peed on you, you'd get warts. So what are people licking the toads for?
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't get warts in their mouth.
Yeah, evidently it's like salmonella poisoning. They're going to get very, very sick. So, all right.
Guaranteed chickens and toads.
So two things that are more consequential than getting shot: salmonella poisoning and licking toads. More consequential than getting shot.
I never said that.
Oh,
I don't want
okay.
anybody to get shot either, but I do think salmonella.
Yeah, I don't either.
People probably quicker to catch salmonella
We
than
definitely
they are.
don't need any listener shot because I mean we're like up to 11 listeners now. If we lost one, that would be really sad.
Yeah, just don't go handling raw chicken, people.
Yeah, because we don't know if it'll kill you or not. We don't have that much knowledge. We just know it'll make you very, very sick.
I agree. I don't have time to pull up an
Also, don't go to this national park. I wonder if I could at least see where this is. That would be against the rules, but I really am interested to just find out where this is. Don't go to, all right. Also, to our 11 listeners, don't go to public parks and lick toads. Whether you know if it's the Sonoran Desert toad or not, don't lick it.
I just say don't lick toads in general.
Yeah. That's probably I mean, I will follow that rule. I'm okay with that. You actually have a history with frogs. You have,
People might think I'm a little crazy.
well, when we used to have a pool at our house.
Oh, yeah.
You hated frogs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You would, like you did you ever lick any though?
I never had the urge to do that.
Oh, okay. All right.
No. I didn't like them at all. They laid eggs in the pool, and I just don't like frogs in general.
Okay.
So to lick a frog is just crazy to me.
All right.
They must be on something.
All right, last story. And in all honesty, I kind of cheated a little bit because this was so intriguing to me. I needed to find out a little bit more information. So I did not read the full article, but I did glance at it because it was so interesting to me. Okay. So here's the headline, and then I'll give a brief explanation. The state of Maine has started removing, essentially they've started removing naughty license plates that have been issued to their citizens. So this intrigued me, and I had to go and look at this. So what Maine has done is they've passed it's not a law, but it's like essentially they enforced a rule that you can no longer have obscene words on your license plates. Because evidently in Maine, there was a lot of people that were getting the F word and the B word and other kind of vulgar statements custom printed on their license plate. And so up until recently, Maine has not had any kind of there's not been anything against this. And so Maine has they've declared, it's not a law, it's like an ordinance more than anything, that you can't have obscene words on your custom license plate. Are you disappointed by that? Because I know how much you love obscene license plates.
Sometimes I don't, you know me, I won't say what I read the other day, but when words run together, I don't actually see what the words actually mean. So it would probably take me a little while to even understand what an obscene license plate said.
So, all right, so I'm reading it more. Evidently, what they did was to do this, I guess they couldn't make a law that said you can't have the F word on your license plate. So I think what they did is remove the option for people to make custom license plates.
Oh.
So that's pretty much what they did.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't like to read, bad things on license plates, so I'm okay. Good for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can I tell? Well, no, I can't do that. All right, let's move on.
No, you can't.
I can't tell about, okay.
No, you can't.
All right, I was just wondering.
That's not allowed to
That's
be
not allowed?
said. No.
Well, speaking of obscene, and I tell you what, if you want to know, to our 11 listeners, if you want to know that part, message me. I got you. I got you. I will not treat you like the person that was in Walmart. I will actually, I'll respond.
It is funny. I just don't think we should put it on the podcast.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Well, Christy, we are quickly approaching Thanksgiving. As of the recording of this podcast, we are a week and a couple of days away from Thanksgiving. So we've got a full week, and then that would be the week of Thanksgiving. So there'll be another podcast episode before Thanksgiving comes, but we kind of have liked the idea of talking about different things about Thanksgiving. So last week we talked about gratitude, and, Thanksgiving truly is gratitude for blessings. So it's gratitude for the blessings that we have in our life. And so I thought, and we talked about this, we thought it would be good to just kind of talk on the subject for a moment of what blessings are, and how that we could be more knowledgeable of things that we're blessed for. It's interesting to me for a lot of people to realize how blessed we are. And there are sometimes we say that, but we have this long list of things that we want. There's this long list of things that we need, long list of things that we wish that would happen. But we forget how truly blessed that we are, how much the Lord has taken care of us, how He's looked out for us. Actually, on my Discord, I've been posting for the last week. Every day, I've been posting things that I'm thankful for, and I've encouraged different people that are on my Discord to do the same thing. Turns out I'm the only one that's posting that, but nonetheless, I've tried to do it every single day.
Good for you.
The other day I posted this. This was day 4, okay? And I said, I'm thankful that I have food to eat today, clothes to wear, a car to drive, and a house to live in. It's so easy for me to get caught up in stuff that's going on that I forget how blessed I truly am to have these things. Did you know that worldwide, only 1 in 8 people own a car? That's worldwide, 1 in 8 people. Approximately 154 people are without a home, it's estimated right now. 154 million people are without a home, and it's estimated that 795 million people suffer from chronic hunger. I can't take what I have for granted. Today, I choose to be thankful. And, we talked last week about putting ourselves in arenas of gratitude, which is really kind of where this thought came from, of posting things that I'm grateful for. And so, in saying that, when you have an attitude of gratitude, it helps you to realize how thankful you are. But you have to realize all across the board that, man, we have so many things that we are blessed with. We have so many things that we have that are blessings to us. Mm-hmm. Christy, how do you feel blessed? In what ways do you feel like you are blessed?
Well, I feel blessed to have, a good husband, and I'm blessed to have 2 daughters, and we have a home, just like you said, and a car. 'Cause are they the fanciest stuff? No, but we don't need the fanciest stuff. We don't need the greatest stuff, but I feel like the Lord takes care of us, and to me, that's blessings. I mean, our families, our friends.
Yeah.
Those things.
I was in a conversation with a gentleman. It's been several months ago. And we were having a conversation, and I said something about blessing. And the person that I was talking to, I said something about whatever being a blessing. And the person I was talking to, I believe is a believer in the Lord, but not necessarily a Christian. And they responded, it is a blessing. And I've thought about that, off and on a couple of times, because I am a pastor. I am a Christian. I'm committed to living my life for the Lord. And I think probably in ways this person would say the same thing in their own way. But To me, blessing is a spiritual thing, but blessing to other people isn't always a spiritual thing. It's a material thing. It's a physical thing. And there's two ways ultimately that we can be blessed. We can be blessed physically with physical things, material things, things that we can touch, feel. We can look around and say, here, like I said, there's my house, there's my car, the clothes I wear. There's those kind of blessings, but there's also spiritual blessings. There's peace and there's love and there's forgiveness, and spiritual blessings can only come from God. Now, someone can pay for my meal at Walmart, pay for my meal at McDonald's or whatever it is.
We can do it to someone.
And that is a blessing
to them
that I may mean spiritually, but it is received physically because it depends on how, a person's perspective. And I think the way that we perceive blessing has everything to do with perspective. It's how we view it. For me, I believe all blessings come from God. I don't think it's from my hard work. I don't think it's from my talent. It very well may be from my good looks. I mean, that's a high possibility, but nonetheless, as a pastor, as a Christian, I believe that all blessings come from God. And so everything from him flows that way. Now, regardless, because there may be people that are not believers that listen to the podcast. The 2% of our German audience, I have no idea what their belief system is. But, regardless of what your relationship is with the Lord, you can still count your blessings. You can still count your blessings and still have a thankfulness, a gratitude inside of your heart when you look around at what you have. And it's choosing to be thankful over wishing and wanting for other things.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think too, if you can be content with where you are, and not always want, then I think you will see that as a blessing as well.
Yeah, I think that's good.
A lot of people can't be content with what they have and where they are, who they're with or whatever. So I don't think there's peace. If you're not a content person, I don't feel like you may have peace if you can't be content in some areas of your life.
Yeah.
I'm a very content person, very structured.
Yeah.
I don't need a whole lot. I'll give anything away that I need to.
You do not have a problem giving stuff away. That is true.
But I can also say I have peace within me, I think probably a little bit because of that.
Sure.
So
yeah. I do want to say this, and I think, I think it is important for us to point our blessings to the Lord. Mm-hmm. Because here's what I know. As, it doesn't matter how talented you are, how good looking you are, how much experience that you have, all of that came from somewhere. Mm-hmm. And our selfishness would say, yeah, I worked hard for that, or I am just naturally gifted that way. But someone gave you the strength or the gifting. That didn't just happen by accident. That was given by design, and that was given by purpose. Mm-hmm. And we can just look around and see the things that we have. And it may not be everything we want. And like you said, it may not be the best. But we can look around and say, man, I'm blessed. 1 in 8 people in the world have a car. So if you own a car, you are of the highest wealthy bracket in the entire world. I used to know the number. I can't remember the percentage, but you are of the most wealthy people in the world if you just own a car. Even if it's the crappiest car in the world, you're still one of the most wealthy people in the world. We forget that sometimes. We don't look at it that way. We look and say, well, I don't have a Tesla. Emma, our daughter Emma, loves Tesla, so I always think about that. We don't have a Tesla, or we don't have a 2022 or 2023, whatever we got now. I've stuck with what I've got, but what you got is a blessing.
I agree.
And so it's perspective. It's the way you look at it. And so ultimately for me, I look around and I realize everything that I have, there's not one thing I have that has not come from the Lord. It has not been orchestrated by Him. Every talent that I have, every gift that I have, every position that I have, every possession that I have it not because of who I am, because I'm not a whole lot at all, but I have it because of who God is.
That's good.
And so as we go into this Thanksgiving season, I think it's so important for us to maintain, not just now, but it just heightens it during this season, where you just take moments to say, thank you. I'm thankful for what I've got, and I'm thankful for the blessings that I have. So, anyway, I wanted to mention that and bring that up.
That's good.
So, anywho. Well, Christy, do you have any words of wisdom for us today?
I do have a wow.
Any wows?
I'm going to bring the wow.
All right, take us into our final segment today of wowing us with words of wisdom.
It's just a good little verse to kick off this Monday morning on your way to work.
Okay.
Or if you're taking the kids to school, or
Okay.
if you're a mom and you're staying home having your cup of coffee after everybody's gone.
All right.
But it is in Psalm 118, verse 24. This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it.
That's good.
So wake up, have that little verse on your mind, your little scripture, and just remember this is the day He's made.
And be
be
I like
glad
you said,
in it.
be glad, not sad. There's a lot of things you could be sad about today.
Well, you can choose.
Choose to be glad.
You can choose to be glad.
Yeah.
Or choose to be sad. I would much rather be happy.
Yeah. Yeah, you can choose. I believe, man, I 100% believe you can choose.
I mean, you can wake up on the
can
wrong side of the
what
bed.
kind of day that you're going to have.
I agree. If I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, I just get back in the bed and roll on the other side,
I say this a lot of time on my streams that I do, the way I close them out every day. I say, the day is what you make it. You can, we can't control everything that goes on around us, but there's a couple things we can choose. We can choose our words. We can choose our thoughts, because, again, we can take captive any thought and make it under submission of the power of Jesus Christ. And we can control our actions. So if we'll choose good words, we'll choose good thoughts, we'll choose good actions, ultimately we can choose through that to have a good day. And so choose to be glad. That's a good words of wisdom. I'm feeling very preachy today. Can you tell?
I can. I'm just nodding.
Yeah. I'm going to take up an offering, I think. Just kidding. Just joshing, kids. There'll be no offering taken up today. Well, guys, hey, that's all we've got for you today. I just want to say thank you so much for jumping into the podcast. However you got here, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Maybe you're even watching us over on Spotify. I don't know if you knew that you could do that, but you definitely can. While you're there, we'd love for you to hit the thumbs up or the rating, or give us a woohoo, leave a comment, whatever that platform lets you do. We just love to know that you were there. If you leave ratings, it does help us out, helps us move up in the algorithms and all those kind of things. Do you know what an algorithm is, Christy?
I do, from the show The Challenge.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so it's a random set of rules.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody they create their own algorithms, and they all run different. If you can figure them out, it helps you. People.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Anyway, nonetheless, we appreciate so much you being here. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. So send us a message on Instagram. Have you ever hid from somebody in Walmart or another? Like if you've ever run from someone, let us know. We'd love to hear that story. You can contact us on Instagram, Chris Lots, Christy Lots. Also, any complaints that you have about the podcast, Christy fields all of those, and she'd love to hear directly from you.
Sure.
So
go right ahead.
So yeah, go right ahead. Well, guys, we love you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. And until next time.
See ya.
Bye, guys. Have a great one.